Hello and welcome back to the Fantasy Playmakers. We just found out that Russell Gage is going to be signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if I'm being honest, if Russell Gage signed with basically any other team in the NFL, besides maybe a few more landing spots, I probably would not be making a video about him just because I don't think he's one of these top tier wide receivers in this class. But I think this is a fantastic landing spot for Russell Gage. He's someone who has been productive the last two seasons. If we go back to 2020, in 16 games, he went for 786 yards on 72 receptions and then scored 4 touchdowns, averaged 11.3 PPR points per game. So he's probably someone who's always fluttering, close to the waiver wire. And then kind of similar thing in 2021, 14 games, caught 66 passes for 770 yards and 4 touchdowns, averaged 11.6 points per game. But the reason why I really like this fit is that, I feel like there's this perception that the Buccaneers have this crazy deep wide receiver room, and you could make that argument when Antonio Brown was there. But now when you're looking at that wide receiver room, it's Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and they don't really trust anyone below that. Scotty Miller has made some huge plays, but they don't view him as a wide receiver 3 for them. They don't think he's versatile enough to, keep out there for, a decent amount of the snaps, but they do really like to run those 3 wide receiver sets. Tyler Johnson's gotten some work. Some people think he's a sleeper. I really don't think Tyler Johnson is that great of a player. He can't separate and really had every opportunity to perform last year and didn't. With AB out of the lineup, Godwin hurt, all of that stuff. I mean, they were even mixing in Brashad Perriman, who they got off the street. They were playing Cyril Grayson as the wide receiver 3, over Scotty Miller, who they pulled up from the practice squad, and he arguably performed the best out of any of those players. So that is really where they're at with that spot. But I believe Russell Gage will step into that role. He will get a pretty solid share of the snaps, and I do think he can be very productive. So he's not going to be probably a top 10 round pick, but I think he's someone you could definitely take a flyer on kind of later in your drafts, one of the last few rounds, because I do think he's going to be a pretty solid part of this team. And if something does happen to Chris Godwin or Mike Evans, he shoots up and becomes very, very valuable, because I do think, he's a very good wide receiver in the NFL. And then for Brady, I feel like this is a great sign. They're just going to be insulating this offense. Hopefully, we get some news that they are going to be re-signing Rob Gronkowski. We'll see about Leonard Fournette. I don't think that's going to have a huge effect on Tom Brady. But if we're looking at these weapons, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, if you've got Russell Gage as the wide receiver 3, and then you've got depth with Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson. They bring back Gronk. The offensive line still has 3 studs. They're going to need to fill in both guard spots, but I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal. So I really like this signing all the way around. Thank you guys for stopping by. Let me know what you think about this signing down below in the comment section, and I'll continue posting all the big ones moving forward. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.